Hey everybody, so I thought I'd talk about this article real quick. Right now, mainstream media, they're spending most of their time focusing on what's going to happen if the debt ceiling isn't raised. So they're not necessarily focusing as much on what's going to happen after the debt ceiling is raised. So if we're just reading this headline, it says Wall Street fears 1 trillion aftershock from debt deal. What do they mean by this? Let's just talk through this. So our government, we are financed by either taxing people or issuing debt. So when we issue debt, we're doing this through treasuries. And essentially, businesses, banks, the American people, or just essentially people overseas or businesses overseas, they are purchasing these treasuries. And what that is doing is that it's pulling liquidity out of the markets. And then eventually, that money gets circulated back into the markets when the government decides to spend on all these different programs. So, right now, we're basically at the debt ceiling, and, we have all these different programs that we need to finance. So, essentially what the Treasury is likely going to do is that once the debt ceiling is raised, they're going to issue a ton of treasuries or a ton of bills into the markets. So that could essentially pop yields a little bit higher just from the sheer amount that they're going to issue. And then what can that essentially do? Well, that could possibly raise the dollar up as well. Now, Bank of America, they're saying that this could be the same as a quarter point hike on interest rates. So they're saying that this $1 trillion aftershock could essentially be the same as a 1/4 point hike. So this is definitely something that we need to worry about. Now, if all of a sudden a ton of debt securities hit the market, well then that could pop those yields, like I said. And then if those yields do get popped up higher, then you could start seeing foreign investors, they could be more interested in the dollar to essentially purchase these debt securities. So that could push the dollar up higher. So now let's go ahead and let's look at a chart of the dollar right here. So I'm going to do DXY right there. And then when we're looking at the dollar right here, there is this very interesting thing that you can see on the weekly. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in there so we can see this a little bit more clear. So let's go ahead, let's look at that. So if we're looking at the MACD on the weekly, you can see that when we do have these bullish runs on the dollar, MACD tends to bottom out like this. So it creates this double bottom. And that first crossover tends to be a fake out. So you can see it right here. So we have that fake cross out, and then the second one is the real one. And that's when we see that massive run. Now we see it again right here, that fake crossover right there. And then the real one is the second one. So now we're seeing something very similar. Let me just zoom in right there. So right here, we had that fake crossover, and then we sold off some more, and then now we're having that second crossover. So it looks like a double bottom on the MACD. So, it's something to pay attention to. And also, right around the same time, the dollar is going up, and what are markets doing? Well, they were going up as well. So this is definitely a major, major divergence that we need to keep an eye on. If all of a sudden the dollar just pops much higher, that's going to be bad for these multinational companies. That's going to be bad for your Apple, your Googles, your Microsoft, because that's going to create foreign exchange headwinds. So, when the dollar was going down, that's creating foreign exchange tailwinds. But then when the dollar is going up, that's creating foreign exchange headwinds. So that's something that we need to worry about. Now, here's the thing that's a little bit fishy. Well, the technology sector is rallying very, very hard, substantially harder than S&P 500. So, to me, is this just a massive bull trap? Or, is this whole treasury deal just a big nothing burger? So just something that I'd bring to your attention, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.